Hey guys, it's Julie. Um, so I have to tell you, a few days after my last video, I recorded a whole other video, and then I watched it back, and I realized it was basically me retreading, um, all the stuff that I talked about in the previous video. So, I'm just gonna say right now, um, that I need to get shower. Um, that I'm no longer friends with, my friend who I had the issues with. I haven't officially broken anything off with her, but, let's put it this way, since she seems to think that I'm the one pulling her away from everything else she's got going in life, I'm not gonna call her. I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna reach out to her. We'll see if she ever reaches out to me again, or, maybe she's got a full life, and hey, that's great. That's fantastic. But, you know, also, the other thing that I don't think I mentioned in the last video, and yeah, I mean, I do think it's hard because to me, I thought she was my friend, but she definitely, how say this, she definitely is not, she and I just don't see eye to eye anymore. She's become way more conservative, way more rigid in her thinking, whereas I've gone the opposite way, which is weird. But then again, I'm not really like other women my age. I mean, I'm married, but I got married later in life. I'm not, I'm not, you know, as a matter of fact, I'm trying to do more of the stuff that I wanted to do growing up, but I was either told no, or felt like I couldn't because, I needed to make money, and, you know, so, but yeah, so like growing up, I was always and have always been a very creative person. I've always enjoyed writing stories. I've always enjoyed coming up with like theories and little stories when I play video games, that kind of thing. And I haven't really been oh, what's the word? I really haven't been like I'm not I've never really been the usual kind of person who's like, when I grow up, I want to make a lot of money and I want to live in a big house and all that. And to me, it doesn't really make much of a difference. I just want to be creative. But like most of my life up till this point, I haven't been able to because I've had to make money so that I can pay my bills, do stuff, and, you know, live a normal life. And I'm just like, okay. But, here's the thing, because ever since I lost my job in April, I have not been able to find another job. I have not in retail, not anywhere else. And even then, I don't really know like what I like. I know what I would like to do, you know, like if I couldn't do creative type stuff, if I had to get like a job working somewhere, then yeah, I would want to work somewhere where I could help people. But again, there's so much. There's big old blob of something, big old blob of social work and social services. I have no idea where I would fit in. I have no idea where to even try to start. Because, I mean, I've worked with kids before, in daycare and stuff, but I don't really want to work with children. I don't know if I would have the patience or skills to work with like the elderly. And like I've heard so many horror stories about people who work with like people who are on food stamps, people who are, abused, like women who are victims of abuse, that kind of thing. I don't know, you know. I have no idea what to, you know. And also considering it seems like every single time I have hoisted myself up by my bootstraps, as the saying goes, and looked around, even Googled stuff, it's just like I either can't find what I'm looking for, or it's something that, like a lot of social work requires very specific degrees. And it's like, I don't want to go back to school, especially considering that I do not know which field I want to go into. And I don't want to just go back to school and get like a general degree like I did the last time, because I want to, if I do that, I want to have a specific idea, or at least a general idea of, maybe I could go in this direction, maybe I'll go in that direction. Um, but yeah, so I'm just, and I'll admit some to you guys right now, I have been playing a lot of games off of Steam and stuff lately. And you know how nice it is to be able to do that? To not have a bad computer that is like, no, I will not run this game because you don't, because this, or this work. It's so nice to have like games that are, as a matter of fact, I'm still trying to figure out. I think I told you guys last time I was trying to figure out a way of, because apparently QuickTime Player doesn't support screen recording anymore, or I can't seem to get it to work. Um, so I need to figure out another way of doing that so that I can do playthroughs for you guys, or game reviews or whatever. Um, so you know that's an ongoing process, but like I downloaded Night in the Woods. I've already played through that twice, and I want to do another one because in that game you have the choice of hanging out with one person in particular, and you have to hang out with them consistently. So I've done one playthrough where I've hung out with the one person, and now I want to do another playthrough where I hang out with the other person. Um, and also, I would like to talk to you guys if I can figure out how to get it working. Would like to talk to you guys about some theories that I have about some ideas. Yeah, I've heard a theory where like the main character, Maborowski, she is a college dropout. She comes home her second year of college, and because she just has to come home, and through it takes until like almost the very end of the game before she reveals why she came home. And usually she's just like, I don't want to talk about it. Can we talk about it later? Blah, 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 blah. And then at the end of the game, she's like, okay, I'm ready to talk about it. And she tells her friends, but she doesn't tell her mom and dad until like the end of the game. And so it's one of those games where like starts out and you think it's gonna be one way and then it turns, and but if you go back and watch, like you see little clues throughout the game that make you go, oh, they left clues for us to be like, this. So anyway, I've got Nine Woods. I've got just check something really quick. I've got, what was the other game I downloaded? Um, I can't remember the other game I downloaded, but at kind of around the same time. But I also downloaded this game called Stardew Valley, which is a farming simulator, but it also is. There's so much. There is so much in this game. It's basically like an RPG, but it's like the. And here's the thing, it's farming simulator, but you don't have to farm if you don't want to, because there's so much more. You build relationships with the townspeople, you find people to date and marry. Um, there's a cave, there's an adventurers guild, and you get very similar to scene to the very first Zelda game where where Link. Sorry, that's gonna get me in trouble. But where Link goes into this cave, there's an old man in the cave and he gives you a sword. It's dangerous to go alone, take this, and it's like he hands you a sword. Yeah, it's almost exactly like that, except the dude's name is Marlin, and he runs the Adventurers Guild. And and you can join the Adventurers Guild. He gives you a challenge. He's like, I've been keeping an eye on you. You're doing pretty good. If you defeat 10 of these enemies, you can be a part of the Adventurers Guild. So, it's like you have to kind of plan out your day. You have crops that you can plant and harvest and sell and all that. And you got a couple different ways of selling the crops and stuff like that. But then you go in and there's a library in town. And the guy who runs the library, like, you walk in on him and he's like, oh, you're the new farmer. I'm sorry for being distracted, but the person who ran this library before me took off with all the exhibits and stuff. And so he's like, if you come across anything, would you bring them here? And it's like, so then you have kind of like a partnership with them. And it's funny because he's an archaeologist. And one class that I really enjoyed when I went back to school the second time was archaeology and, their related fields and stuff. And so it's fun. And it helps you out. Like, there's little signs in the ground where they're kind of different that make you know, okay, dig here and you'll find some. And that's the other thing. That's the other kind of theory that or not really a theory, but kind of a question, is like you go around and you see these little signs in the ground, look like little leaves blowing in the wind or whatever. And it's like you hit your hoe on it and something will pop up. But my question is, why? Why did whoever the former runner of the library museum do that? Why didn't? Because if somebody's going to make off with a whole collection of stuff, you would think they would sell, yeah, like get away, let enough time pass so that the heat's off, and then slowly start selling things. But no, this person went and buried, or kind of is my theory is, or my hypothesis is, because there's a lot of stuff that you end up digging up. A lot of minerals, a lot of a lot of other items. And some of the items you don't get until you go into the mines, and then you find them in like geodes or whatever. But it just kind of cracks me up. It's like my personal hypothesis about it is that as whoever was running away, like their bag or whatever was so stuffed full that things fell out, and but that somehow they got buried, or they got, because like soil, dirt blows around, especially when it's windy. And there's enough windy days in game where, I could kind of see, okay, book fell out, landed on the ground. All of a sudden, dirt kind of blew over the book, and then it got stuck or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know if that still explains the thing. But there's so much you can do in this game, and there's so many levels, areas to like explore and stuff. And like it's fun because you'll be going along and playing, and you'll be like, oh, I gotta head up here and talk to this person or whatever. And then all of a sudden, a cutscene will start playing. And you're like, oh, cool, Because cutscenes kind of show how far along you are in your relationship with certain people and stuff. So, and like each villager is different in a way. And like the only, not really bad thing, but the only thing that we see could change is like you can't romance the married characters. And I mean, I get why the game designer concerned they would do it that way, but you can only really romance the married characters, the single characters. And there's a lot of them, and they're a lot different ages too. And so, and it's funny because, it's like your character inherits a farm and basically is like, comes to town, because you're tired of working the corporate 9 to 5 and all that. And it's just a lot of fun. I highly recommend this game, especially if you like RPGs or if you like games with like, because it's very non-linear. Like you can do whatever you want in basically any order, but it also is in some way very linear, and it's kind of a cool concept. But yeah, and what I like about it is it's farming simulator, but you don't really have to farm, or at least not all that much. And it's like time management too, because like after a while you can build a coop, have chicken, build a barn, get animals, that kind of thing. And after a while, yeah, you'll be rich, you know. And then there's times where you're like wealthy when you would think is wealthy, and then you go and you're like, oh, I gotta build an extension to my house or whatever, and then you're back down to $300 or whatever, and it's like, okay, gotta build back up. But it's good. And then the other game that I just downloaded, the one I'm having the most problems with, but it's because it's a very non-handholdy type game, is called Book of Hours, and apparently it's like brand new. Although apparently it's part of a series of games. I don't remember the name of the company, but they. Hold on. Okay. So apparently, um, they made up a bunch of games called Cultist Simulator, which I've never played, but it's very different because it's more. Anyway, so they have what's called Cultist Simulator, and they're and so it's card based. So you draw cards in game for like every action you want to take, and you can only take an action if you get the right cards. And again, it's one of those that is doesn't really tell you what to do. So I did manage to find somebody on YouTube who was playing the game, and I have to get on and watch their next video. The problem is I did not. So, long story short, you're going to this town to become a librarian for their big library, and you apparently the ship gets wrecked, but you end up washing ashore on the beach of the town that you need to be on. And so it's kind of one of those where certain areas are locked until a certain point. And so right now I'm in the small town of the thing. I'm trying to figure out what to do next. And the problem is that the YouTuber who is doing a playthrough of this game went to a different house. There's like 4 or 5 different houses in the village that you can go and take shelter to. So I finally got off the beach, finally got somebody to help me, and now I'm in the village. But I chose the rectory or the church, and so now I'm trying to figure out what to do because my main goal is to go over to the library. And so I'm trying to that figure that out. So that's the game that's causing me the most trouble. But again, what I would like to do is once I figure out how to record my screen and how to record gameplay, I will let you guys know and I will upload something. If you guys want to, let me know in the comments which game you'd rather see me play. Night in the Woods, Book of Hours, or Stardew Valley, because I could start a new playthrough. Because like I said, I'm kind of going through a thing where like I'm starting a new playthrough every time I decide, okay, I want to see what happens when I date this guy, or I want to see what happens because the other things, there are different farms. And my first 2 playthroughs were like the normal farm, where it's just like a bunch of land and all that. But my last playthrough, my current one, which I'm kind of obsessed with at the moment, is there's a farm that's surrounded by water, and there are like different islands that you can go to and stuff. So it's a little bit different, but it's also really pretty, and it's a lot easier to like get extra water when when you're watering your crops and you run out or you're whatever. And you can have pets in the game, um, and all that stuff. So let me know which game you'd want me to play, and if I remember to look it up, I'll include the other game. Um, so, but yeah, I'm just basically trying to focus on doing some of the stuff that I've always wanted to do, but I've never either felt like I could you know, or whatever. Or been told, oh no, you're not good enough to do this, or you're too shy to do this, or whatever. And I finally did manage to sign up to volunteer at our one of our food pantries, which is very close by, and I start in September, um, and yeah, so that'd be fun. I'm only working like one Saturday every other week, but there are other things that I want to do and stuff. And, I was trying to get out of the house every so often, even if it's just go to Target, or I kind of want to go down to the art center, see what's going on down there. But I've looked up like a bunch of places and just having a hard time finding anything that I could even like volunteer work and stuff. So, but anyway, so, but yeah, I'm also trying to focus on writing more since I've always liked writing. I've always enjoyed it. I've always been very creative, but I kind of given up on it in the past because real life kind of tends to get in the way, and I'm just kind of like, and like a lot of times, especially with my last job, I was working full time over 40 hours a week and not a lot of time left for writing. Well, that, and when I got home, after 11 o'clock at night, I was usually too worn out to even try to write. So I'm just trying to do that more. Trying to write, trying to enjoy myself, trying to do things where I can help people and all that. And so, yeah. I mean, I still struggle sometimes because, like I'm either here by myself or I'm with my folks or whatever. And it's like, sometimes I feel stuck, but I'm trying to figure out a way of. And in September, about mid September, mom and dad are leaving for another trip. They're going this time for over a week. And so I figure I can use that time to maybe go do some of the stuff I want to do. Like go to the art center or go explore or whatever. Or heck, even go see like the downtown library. It's been years since I've been down there. Um, but yeah, so that's pretty much where my life is like right now. I'm just trying to kind of steer my ship in a new direction and just wait until I get to England and try to be social when I can. And so, anyway, I think that's pretty much all I have to say. Hopefully, next time I upload a video, I will have um I will have a game for you guys. So let me know in the comments which game you'd like me to play. And yeah, I hope you have a great Friday, a great weekend, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.